So yeah, we're moving, and there's gonna be that. I'm very excited. It's gonna be fun.
I'm a bit nervous.
Everything is going to work the way it's supposed to work. Do you feel like you're a different person?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm a different person every couple weeks.
That's true. But I feel like the change between 2023, 2024,
Oh, wow.
and then 2025, us,
Mm-hmm.
it's a big one.
Yeah.
Especially coming from Jacksonville, Florida, where,
Yeah.
you were born and raised.
Mm-hmm.
You live in different places before. I come from Brazil, lived in a few places after Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
And then moving to a city like LA, even like for a year, I just feel like completely different.
Yeah.
I feel like we unlocked a creative side of us that we didn't know back
Right.
then.
Yeah, I'm an only child in a relatively small family and was kind of like trying to hold on to my roots in Jacksonville. And when you are an only child and you have a small family, you feel sometimes even more stress and pressure to like hold on to maybe relationships that aren't beneficial for you or the other person. And so, there was a lot of change with that. I mean, I didn't realize I could be so far away physically and emotionally from my family and feel this good, because I would always get to a point where I'm like, we hadn't talked for a certain amount of time, and then it would make me feel bad. And then I'd go through this cycle of like, then I feel worse because I'm not getting along with my family, and then I distance myself again, and then I do it all over again. And so I've kind of feel like we've broken that cycle, which has been great personally for me. I never thought I could live in a big city this long. I always thought I was more of a suburban, small city guy. And it happened to me at 35, a time when, most people maybe my age have already had kids. Maybe they're like really settled down.
You're gay, so there's
I'm
not such a thing having kids at this point.
Well, you could have kids. It's just
True.
a cumbersome process.
Yeah, it's a choice. It's a cumbersome process. So not everyone at 35, will choose to have kids at this point because we're so young. There's so many things that can be accomplished.
Yeah, I'm just comparing myself to people from high school, people from my hometown.
Oh, can you imagine?
And so
if I think of people from my high school in my hometown, they're probably spending time with their kids.
To each their own, right?
No, right.
I mean,
whatever makes them happy.
Exactly. And so I think that living here has opened my horizon to other things that may make me happy that I wouldn't have thought about before. Some things that I thought were like closed and not going to be a part of my future, like interest in dance, interest in singing, interest in art, just in general, tapping into things that like I would have normally said, oh, I'm too old to learn that, or I'm too old to do that. Yeah.
Because we think, oh, you can only do this until a certain point of your life. If you're older than that, it's just too late. You can't do that.
I mean, there is something to be said about me going to dance class at 35. I am not going to be shaking it like the 5-year-olds who are also in the same class.
That's true, but you can still dance. You can still have fun. You can still move your body.
Yeah.
The other day we went to class, and the teacher after class, she goes, I'm so glad you're a good sport. I think that meant like that you were having fun.
I mean,
regardless if you're doing right or not.
Yeah.
You're just having fun, and I think that's the main goal when we go to dance class. We're not trying to be technical perfect. We're just trying to enjoy it.
That is the ultimate goal. One day I would love to be technically perfect as a dancer.
So a year here, what was your favorite thing that we did that you thought you can never do it, and this year was the year that we accomplished?
Something that we did here that I never thought we could do?
For me, I didn't think we're ever going to be able to finish Dragon Ball Z. And we completed the whole thing.
We completed the whole
292 episodes.
Yes.
It was a task that took a few months, and we completed. And now I can check that off my list. And
yeah, I mean, Sailor Moon as well. We completed both of those.
True. We bought the DVDs.
Again, I think living in LA has resurfaced a lot of like those childhood dreams that I wanted to accomplish. But we've talked about this before. I came to LA the first time when I was like 14 or 15 with my family, and then I came back again when I was 16. And I feel like pop culture at the time too was really, focused on celebrity and Hollywood. And so that was a big part of like my dreams as a kid. I never thought it was possible though, because for me, coming from, again, a small suburban town, I thought I was going to go to college, get a job, work at that job 9 to 5, and then maybe take weekend vacations, and never be able to even consider living in LA, consider attempting, a creative sport or hobby like dance or singing. And so those things I definitely think in general are like, wow, I can't even believe this is possible. I mean, from that, we took some singing lessons. We attempted to sing a song, which we did finish, but who knows, it's out there somewhere.
And you had a beautiful voice. You have a beautiful voice.
You have a beautiful voice too.
I do, but you were hitting the higher notes.
Well, I was told that I have a very pop-like voice.
Yes, you do.
I have been singing in my car, singing in the shower forever. So I'm glad that all the time paid off. But
you're amazing. We had a great time recording because you just have the line and then you sing it and you will be perfect.
That's not how I recall it.
Jealous.
That's not how I recall it. But after a few takes, we did all come up with our pieces of the song. We put the song together. It was great. We didn't really know where we were going to go from there.
Right.
And from that experience, we were inspired then to make a music video.
Yes, let's talk about the music video.
Well, this is also did not happen overnight. We've been making content with the cameras that we have for years.
Yes.
And we've learned those cameras in and out. We have a gimbal, which is super helpful too. And then we did base the music video on a concept that was already pretty flushed out, right? It was a song that had a very clear theme, which we were mimicking. Halloween.
We found the outfits. Very cheap outfits. We found this incredible makeup artist who did an incredible job.
And the reason we found them, living in LA, we run into people who are in the creative space all the time. And so it was actually a makeup artist who I had met from another work event who recommended me this other makeup artist and her assistant, and
networking.
Yeah, I mean, that's LA, right? You can literally be getting Sweetgreen and the person who's making your salads like, I produced the album for this movie coming out. Everyone's doing something creative. So was super easy to put together. And also I think a great initial video because there wasn't too much that felt out of reach. We had a solid concept. We had a song that was a cover, which we didn't...
Great location, by the way.
The great location, which we incidentally found as well. And so it all just fit together.
Came together, yeah.
And so...
It was so fun because, what you don't see behind the cameras is me struggling to get you. And I have nails, big long nails, and you have nails too, and we're just trying to make it work. We're exhausted because we had to organize everything ourselves, and it was super fun, but it was something that we were thinking, can we do this alone? Can we do this ourselves? And we did. We had a help, obviously, from a makeup artist, but other than that, it was just us.
Yeah, it was a work night.
It was.
We rented an Airbnb for 24 hours. We checked in at 3 p.m. The makeup artist got there at 3:30 or 3:45 p.m. Before we could even set up, we started putting the makeup on. It took you 2 hours. It took me an hour. And after that, of course, because we had hired the makeup artist, we want them to be able to go home as soon as possible. So we finished that portion without thinking that we had not set up any of the props or the looks. And we then had makeup on that needed to be preserved and our nails. So we had to delicately try to get everything together. Meanwhile, we're on a time limit because we love the Airbnb, but it's an hour and a half from our house. So we're like, let's finish shooting tonight and go home so we can put this behind us. So we shot the video in about 6 hours, including setup and takedown. And we got home at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, exhausted after, hours of shooting.
Yeah.
But then the results came and we see the video. It's like, wow, that was so cool.
And what's crazy too is when you're filming, and this is for me, anytime I'm filming anything, I'm like, this is horrible. This isn't going to look good. We got nothing. This was trash. And then as the results come out, I'm like, oh, okay, we did do something.
There's some magic there.
I get a little bit negative in these situations because
that happens with podcasts too.
Oh yeah, no. Anytime a camera's on and the light is on, I'm stressed.
Yeah. Well, because also we don't know what's going on behind the cameras, right? We're so focused in finishing the project or filming and do our thing or talking with the guests that we don't know the full picture.
Right.
So, but no, it was fun. I cannot wait to do it again next year, or we don't have to wait until Halloween.
Right.
If you have any recommendations of something that we should do,
maybe I mean, if this video is coming out next year, I mean, we may have already had another music video between now and then.
Who knows?
Never know.
It's possible.
Maybe this video comes out sooner than next year. We don't know. We are just two people doing our best and having fun. You know, I think that's the most important part is we've taken on all these projects because we get a creative like burst of happiness and joy doing something together. And, you know, we're checking off the boxes of things we wish we
could have done before
or could have aligned ourselves to do before. But hey, now is the time. If you're out there and you want to take singing lessons or take dance class, the only limiting factor is you. And, you know, obviously there's resources needed. And in Jacksonville, there's not like a ton of singing or dancing classes, but
a lot of things can be done online. Yeah.
I mean, we literally learned the choreography for the music video from YouTube. One video on YouTube. Yeah. And so we rented a studio space for
a couple of hours,
2 or 3 times,
days,
which was so much fun.
So much fun.
I highly recommend
it. If you have a studio near your house that you can rent it. So fun. Just go by yourself or with a friend, bring a computer or something that you can follow along to. Because, you know, you get to dance and have fun and be silly. And
especially if you prefer like away from other people or don't want to like, you know, dance in front of a class. I think I was actually surprised at how fun it was just to rent some space and like have it to ourselves.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So Halloween, I feel like it's very, for us, it's like the New Year's because we always prepared. Usually we always prepare, but we do nothing. This time we prepared and we did a few things. We did the music video and we did something else, which was this concept of being Merman Man and Barnacle Boy for Halloween. It's actually a dream that we've been talking about this for so long because we love SpongeBob. If you don't know about this yet. Big fans. And we always wanted to be those two characters for Halloween. And we finally did it. And irony. You even dyed your hair because of it. Crazy. So walk us through this whole experience of dyeing your hair.
Okay, well, let's start with SpongeBob. So we started there, and we can correlate this with Halloween and take it all the way back to 2019, the first time that we actually hung out.
Can you believe full
like
circle
outside
moment.
Of our normal environment? We went on a trip together. We went to Maui, and then we came back to LA because you have to come back to LA to fly back to Florida.
And we spent Halloween here.
So we spent Halloween here. We dressed up a little bit. We went out for a few minutes. It was freezing outside. But what's funny is that we ended the night by watching SpongeBob.
Yes.
And not only did we watch it, we decided to get some arts and crafts. We didn't even know each other, by the way. We decided to get some paper and color pencils from like Walgreens and draw SpongeBob all night.
Yes.
Little did we know that if fast forward 5 or 6 years later, whatever the year it is now, we would be dressing up in LA while living in LA, mind you, with SpongeBob characters.
Being 6 years together.
Yeah, it's crazy. And you know, we came up with this concept because we met a friend who came on the podcast, Hunter, who is a wrestler, and he had a designer who was making these wrestling costumes. We met the designer, such a nice guy.
We got to pick the fabrics. We went to downtown LA,
that was
which,
cool.
You know, for people who never been, it was our first time as well. And, you know, there were so many options, so many things to choose from.
We also watched Drag Race, and so they always refer to this area downtown where you can go and purchase fabrics and crystals
pretty
and
much
everything. Anything to manufacture clothing is there. It's called Santee Alley.
Santee Alley.
And so we always wanted to go, and then the designer was like, "Oh, we can go, you know, together." And so we all went, and it was a cumbersome day.
You know, but those things take work, take time, and, you know, seeing the results and seeing the clothes.
It's cool.
It's so cool that, you know, we handpicked those things. We chose it.
True.
And it's a dream come true.
It was.
To be dressed as those two characters because it's just something that we've been talking about it for so long, and it finally happened.
And like, you know, we usually have these grand ideas for Halloween. We've been to LA almost every year since we met for Halloween.
And we always have an outfit. But nothing like this.
Usually it's a pair of shorts, a tank top, and like something
football players,
added.
Or
baseball player, Harry Potter when that was permitted, yada yada. So it usually not that big of a scale, and usually we end up staying in the hotel and just like watching people walk by from the
Outside,
balcony, which is fun too.
Now we are the people walking outside.
Now we got to be the people. Well, on top of that, we were able to meet with other people who also came on the podcast.
Can you believe?
Maddie and Logan.
Okay, so one of my favorite things that we did this year was making friends and being able to hang out with them. You know, especially after the podcast. It was people who sometimes we didn't have much in common, right? And then we created this bond for life. I feel like almost like high school friends that, you know, you meet them in a setting that is not usually the
norm, right?
Yeah,
you're like in a
podcast setting.
Sure.
And then we became friends since then, and it's been so fun.
Yeah, so we got to enjoy Halloween with them. And what's funny is for us, like when we hang out with people, usually our goal is just the people. And so wherever we're at with the people doesn't really matter. But we ended up spending like a few hours just like hanging out before even going anywhere. And that was one of the highlights.
The fun part.
Yeah, because we can talk and, you know, we got to discuss
we can talk,
our outfits and their outfits, and we all kind of got ready together and got to go to the street fair and walk around. We got to dance in our costumes, which was really, really fun.
So fun.
So yes, you know, I don't know if we're going to do this every Halloween. If you look at statistically, we prefer, based on the numbers, staying home and just watching from the windows. But
we stay home.
Maybe next year we'll do it again. I think anyone out there, though, who wants to have a time with their partner or their friends where they can just like put the day or their life behind them and just focus on having fun and being creative. Halloween can be such a great way to do that. You can start planning in June. You can start planning the day before Halloween. Either way, you know, it can be a very creative and happy experience. So I highly recommend enjoying.
Preach. We only say good things about LA. Let's talk about things that we didn't enjoy or things that, you know, it didn't happen as we planned or we had wrong expectations. Was there anything other than the weather that surprised you?
Well, one of the things that surprised me is when you're living in Florida or you're living on the East Coast, or maybe you're just not living in California or LA, when you see things on the news about LA, you assume
the
it's
city
a
is
war
on fire.
zone. Yeah, you think that like it's uninhabitable, people are dying, it's unsafe, you don't want to go there. And I always had that perception.
Right.
But then when I moved here, I realized very quickly, because we experienced like one week or two after living here, the fires.
Yeah.
So
that happened.
The Palisades fire started, which was horrifying, and we could see from our balcony. But, you know, like life goes on. The streetlights are still working. Vandalism is not occurring in the streets.
Right.
People are still going to work. So, you know, based on the news, you would think otherwise. Or when, you know, there were protests happening downtown, you would have assumed that we were all dead.
But that happens every city, every country. In Brazil is the same thing. I come from a small town in the middle of the country, and when we see the news, the TV, they always have like terrible news about Rio and Sao Paulo. So even me growing up in my bubble, I always thought I can never live in a big city because I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I come from a city that is considered small, and I was robbed 3 times. I moved to the capital of my state. I moved to Rio a couple of years later, and I never had any issues with crime. It was on my hometown that I had issues, which is, you know, it blows my mind because you think that you're going to have issues in a big city, LA, New York, but it can happen anywhere.
Yeah, you know, it's the, you know, fear mongering that we get, and when things are so far away, it's really easy to lean into what the news is telling you. I mean, even like now, living here and seeing news about things that happen in Florida, like hurricanes or tropical storms or, you know, other political issues happening, it's so dramatized, and so it's really interesting to see how you know, mainstream news can pit us against each other on different coasts. But
wait, that was not a negative part of your experience.
Well, so yeah, I mean,
that's definitely a surprise.
Okay, that's definitely a surprise. A negative experience, of course, you know, the fires were not great, but that's not anyone's fault.
Yeah, it didn't affect us. Well, for me, one of the things that I can think right now was traffic. I know traffic in LA is terrible, but in LA, if you're leaving your house, you're driving or even taking an Uber, and you go on Google Maps and you put the destination, it's going to take 40 minutes. That's fine. 40 minutes. You know, there's traffic in every single city in this country. But guess what? It's not going to take you 40 minutes. It's going to take you 1 hour and 40 minutes. So to me, coming from a place where everything was very efficient, even though sometimes it was far from the house, but you get there in the time that you had to get there.
Right.
Here, there's the unexpected.
Right.
You can get there earlier, or you can get there very late.
I mean, that's definitely one of the negative forces that prevented me from moving here 6 years ago. So I love efficiency. It's like if someone was like, if I'm in a job interview and they're like, so what do you think is the most important thing to you about a business? Efficiency. I think everything should be efficient, right? And so when you live in Jacksonville, you can get anywhere in 20 minutes. You can get to the beach in 20 minutes. Yeah. You can get downtown in 20 minutes. You can get to the gym in 20 minutes. You can get your Starbucks in 20 minutes. It may be less than that, but in general, everything can be done in 20 minutes. And you get in your car, you get 2 stoplights, and you're there. There's no like congestion that we get here to this
unexpected traffic or construction in the middle of the road.
Granted, too, I mean, we live in a suburban area, so we have to leave the house multiple times to accomplish things that we need done every day. Whereas now, living in LA, granted, yes, when we have to leave the house and get groceries and stuff like that, it can be cumbersome, but we live in a place that's walkable, and that was the whole reason we moved here.
Right.
Is we found an opportunity where we can move into a furnished place that was walkable to the gym, walkable to a place for us to eat, multiple places for us to eat, walkable for us to get groceries if we really wanted to, socialize, see friends. Everything was walkable, and that was our ultimate goal. We looked in Miami, we thought about New York City, we thought about here, multiple other places, but the walkability factor was a positive, but we still have a little bit of that, traffic that bothers it. Granted, when I'm in the car with you, I'm on my computer working, so I'm like zoned out, so it doesn't really affect me as much. But yeah, traffic it's still stressful.
So talking about events, driving, and breaking out our shell, I want to talk about something that we did this year a couple of times, and I think was my favorite time, which was go out to dance.
Go out to dance.
And we did it like three times total.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to consider where this all started, it was our road trip to LA when we moved here.
Yeah.
So we moved here Thanksgiving week. We got in the car.
Went to 24
in Jacksonville. And we said, we'll be in LA in 8 days. And we went through Texas, went through Vegas, and we got to California. Through that time, though, we listened to a lot of new music, and most of it was techno-based or house or some sort of dance vibe. And
that completely inspired our year.
Yeah.
The music, the sound, and inspire a new era for us, because in Jacksonville, I don't remember one single time that we went out. Even in Miami, maybe living in Florida, I don't think was our thing, because we don't drink. We don't like to do those social things.
Right.
And for us was always a struggle. We want to make friends. We want to socialize with people, but where do we go?
Yes, we don't really like the socialization aspect of going out, because you're meeting people who may be inebriated, who may be not on the same wavelength as you, who, are just maybe not interested in dancing or what you're going for, right? Like for us, we're not going there to drink. We're really not going there to talk. We're going to get on the dance floor, shake our butts, and
it's just not the best place to meet people or to connect with people, because there's a lot going on. And, here's my number. Text me.
I also don't even want to go to like dance at a bar where everyone is dancing with like a drink in their hand and they're spilling it all over you, or they're like,
or not even
taking selfies with their friends,
or not even dancing.
Yeah, like that's the point. Right? So going to a bar to dance never has been interesting to us. I think too, we've gone to parties where dancing is occurring, like circuit parties and stuff. But maybe the music is not the vibe, or it's a very flirty vibe, which you may not also be interested in. So after following new music artists and getting to see them perform live here, we were like, maybe we could dance to their music somewhere. Like maybe there's parties happening in LA that we don't know about where they play techno music or dance music. And
we found Tunnel.
And
Tunnel found us.
Yeah, so we had heard about Tunnel through, I think it's referenced in a couple songs.
Well, Miss Bashful
had an event.
We absolutely love, had an event back in December, which we didn't go. But we always had that in the back of our heads that we wanted to go. And then it was not until March, she came back again to Tunnel.
Right.
And we came to see her, and then it was the first time that we wore our puppy masks.
And that was
the beginning of the hot dogs.
The hot dogs. So the puppy mask is crazy because, I mean, as you know, it all started when we were living. Well, it goes further than that. That was not the first time we saw a puppy mask. Do you remember the first time we saw a puppy mask?
The first time you saw a puppy mask was in a podcast.
Yeah.
Your podcast. Right. It was you and a guest back in 2023. And he was...
Yeah, so I was working on this podcast, and one of the people on the team were like, let's invite this, like, you know, he's into, like, pup play and all of that. I was like, okay, it sounds like a great conversation for sexual health. Right. Like, and I'm interested.
Interesting,
like,
yeah.
So they came on the episode, and I was like already just sort of entranced by the mask because it's so taboo to me. I still think that, like, there's something in the back of my head that draws me to things that are taboo. Like, I'm like, almost like I want to study it or analyze it. And so I tried it on, and I was like, okay, I mean, it's cool. I like the way it fits. I really love the way they look on. I think they look so cool. I feel like half a cartoon, half a human.
But it's like a costume. It feels like a costume. It feels like you're a different character.
Right. But I get no sexual. If anything, it's like the opposite.
Right.
But I still love it. I still like to wear it. The point is, being in LA is like an unlimited supply of creativity.
And it's a dream. It's a dream for many people, but it's a dream that is possible, right? I, growing up in Brazil, always had this dream of, you know, living outside of my country. And I love movies. I love Hollywood. Always watch tons of, you know, those classics, Sunset Boulevard, Mulholland Drive. Those are movies that inspire my teenager years, and I never thought I could live it. So it's like, you know, when we were walking down the street, Sunset Boulevard, and then we see the sign, it's so like iconic.
Yeah.
And it feels like a dream. It feels like this is not real, but then we're getting to do all those things. It's just so...
Yeah, and very similarly, you know, instead of the cinema aspect, for me, it was watching pop culture unveil itself. Paparazzi photos, magazines, PerezHilton.com, and like Laguna Beach, the OC, Hit the Hills, you know, all this reality television that was sort of taking place and influencing me as well. So we're both having this sort of convergence of our adolescence here in LA. And then also, since we've been here, we've met so many people who incidentally also moved here in the last year.
Yes.
So we're getting to live through their excitement as well. And I'm sure if we hung out with people who only had lived here for many years and weren't as interested in being here anymore, maybe we'd have a different experience. But the people around us have also been like very excited to be here and open to trying new things, meeting new people, going new places. And so that's really added to our experience too.
It was so fun, especially like, I don't know, getting to do all those things and being a podcast while this was happening. It was almost like the podcast was with us and seeing the growth of, you know, our audience. It was so fulfilled. It was such a, I don't know, we went from like doing this podcast in our bedroom to like doing the podcast in LA with guests that knows us, guests, people who been watching our podcast. Some people were fans of ours. And I don't know, it's just like so happy to, it's like, I don't know, it's very, what is the word?
Satisfying? Gratifying.
Gratifying. It's very gratifying to be here now at this moment and look back and like, wow, we did it.
I think we, and something I've always done, and I think you've also done with me since we've known each other, is baby steps.
Yes.
When you have a goal, you don't have to move to LA and start your podcast tomorrow.
Overnight.
Just get a camera and set it up
that's
in
your
a corner
goal
in your room. And or like do the first thing that seems the most logical, even if the final result seems so illogical. Right?
Yeah.
Like even though it seems like that will never happen and it's not possible. Take too long. Yeah. Just start putting one foot in front of the other to make whatever your goal is happen, whether that's go to med school and become a doctor, whether that's
move to a different country,
move to a different city, different country, start a new career, start a relationship, all those things. It's just one baby step at a time.
And there's this thing that people say a lot in LA, manifestation. Manifestation, it's true because in a way that you are putting energy, you're putting your thought and your plan towards that to happen, right? So it is true in many ways, because if you manifest, you're dreaming,
right?
And then you are putting all those things towards your goal.
It's fixating on a goal or fixating on an idea, right? So you don't necessarily, when you manifest, need to like put all of your energy into this one thing every single day to make it come true. It's no, just keep it at the tip of your mind. You know, you're going through your day, but it's still right there sort of a reminder, almost like an asterisk that you're
Right.
carrying around throughout the day. Like, hey, don't forget me. This is
Right.
the ultimate goal right now. And so otherwise, you can drive yourself crazy trying to make things happen too quickly, which is a recipe for failure that I've definitely attested to. But yeah, it's just little by little.
Buy a notebook. Put your ideas in a piece of paper and go back to your ideas, every day if you can, and
Yeah.
revisit and rewrite it and find your goal and put the steps that you need to accomplish your goal, because everything is possible if you dream.
Absolutely. And it's your life. You get to make it look like however you want it to look. If you're happy where you're at, I mean, there's no need or reason to dye your hair blonde. There's no need or reason to move to another city or another country or to start a new career. It's all about like feeling accomplished with who you are and happy with yourself. And ultimately that's, I think, what we still strive to do. We have a lot of ambition. It changes almost every day.
Yes.
And we love to talk about new goals and new dreams. And if we don't have them, we make new ones and we find new ones. And that has been not only an activity to push ourselves, but to bring us closer together, to help us make new friends that align with the things that we're looking to do and accomplish. So,
manifestation is the secret of life.
That or horoscopes or something like
whatever
that.
you believe. Maybe you believe in God, Jesus, all this stuff. But
whatever that is.
Yeah. Well, you talk about people who inspire us and they don't even know about it. I feel the same way about us. We inspire people and we don't know about it. Sometimes we get messages of people saying, wow, your guys' podcast changed my life. I've been watching it and I feel more free. I feel like I can come out to my family. I feel like I can talk to certain things to my friends. And this is very nice to hear it because, it all started with us talking to each other, in our bedroom. And now we get to inspire people to live their authentic selves, their authentic life. It's very rewarding.
It's crazy because, also, there are many podcasts out there. There are many white guys like myself doing podcasts out there. We certainly don't need any more. So there's also like, when you're making a podcast, like you're like, who wants to hear from me? Like, what do I have to offer? And who would want to talk to us? And am I a narcissist for even thinking these, thoughts? Like, who am I to have a podcast? But the reality is anyone can. And that is a good thing. We should hear more voices of diversity. And, I happen to be a white gay guy, so I have a little splash of diversity in there. But even white guys have an opinion and they don't always have to be what you would expect, So having just people who can come to us and say, I see something, of myself in you, that I think is the ultimate sort of dream. I mean, when I was a kid, I would have loved the opportunity to see a gay guy in his 30s, like still feeling like he has plenty of time to make other things happen. I mean, I was always like seeing life happen so quickly, I felt, as a younger person, and feeling like I was missing out on dating and, a real relationship and being myself at work and being myself around my family. And so all these things the time was taking and I wasn't having those experiences, but now I'm going to do them my way, right? Now my family, unfortunately, doesn't want to meet me here. They want me to meet me at the old me.
Back then,
they want me to meet them on their terms and instead of mine. And so now I'm creating the family that wants to meet me on my terms here. And, we're getting to accomplish things that I thought weren't in the cards for me or us. So it's just do that. If I can inspire anyone to do anything that would make me feel the most happy, is like just push past what people are trying to hold you back from. That's what I did, and it's made me the happiest I've ever been. So
do you feel like you're the happiest you've ever been?
For sure.
Now this year?
I think this year is been the most rewarding. I feel the most confident in how I present myself. I feel like I know myself better than ever. I feel like, meanwhile, we do always have obstacles, but they just don't seem threatening to me anymore. I feel like I can get through anything.
I feel like our relationship is better. I mean, our relationship is always improving, always getting better.
Yeah.
But I feel like this year, because we're living in a different city, both of us are getting to adapt at the same time to a different circumstance. I feel like we are stronger as a couple. And it's been such a joy to see us evolving from what we already were we already were great, you know, we already had a great connection, but you know, it's been very nice to, I don't know, spend more time with you.
Yeah, I feel like too, I was like, as I was telling you previously, like, how I feel like it's funny how I and we in my head are so like in tune. Like I sometimes confuse the two, right? When I meant to say we, I say I, because you're just there. Like there's no I. There's no I.
There's no me.
I mean, and that's not for everybody. That's a whole nother topic for another podcast episode. But you know, we this year really dialed into being a team and deciding that we want this team to work and to last, and that again, the obstacles were not going to hold us back, because together we're stronger.
Yes.
And I feel like, you know, sometimes being single is great, and you definitely want to be happy and strong, confident on your own as an individual. But
especially
when
if you don't find a partner that is not compatible.
When the time is right and you're able to find that partner, the things that you can do together, if you decide just to verbally work as a team, you will surprise yourself. So I recommend it.
Your person is out there. Just keep looking.
Yeah, don't give up.
Don't give up.
You're not going to find them at home on your couch. You got to...
Sometimes you might find them on social media, like we found each other.
Well, we didn't meet in person, but...
True.
But yes.
Well, you have to book a flight somewhere if you find someone online. Or Grindr, whatever you prefer.
However it happens.
Yeah.
We've met many couples that have been successful post-Grindr, so...
Yes, we did meet people who met on Grindr, and they've been together for years.
Yeah. So you just never know.
Just never know.
Do what you do, whatever that is.
And thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. We appreciate
It's been an amazing year.
Yeah.
Can't wait to share more.
Yeah. We have so many projects, sometimes too many.
Just for fun too.
But
we're nuts, but we enjoy it.
Yeah, we just do it for fun. And that's it. That's what we like to do. We just like to...
What are you going to do? Be ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
So keep being yourself, and we will see you next week.
Yeah.
For another episode of Tyler and Gabriel.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.